Hey guys, it's Kristi. Welcome back to my channel. Have you ever done something that was so awesome and just exceeded your expectations, and then you can't wait to go back and tell everybody you know about it so they can go try it too? Well, that is exactly how I've been feeling about today's video. I can't wait to tell you what we did in Rome because I'm thinking some of you are gonna wanna do this too. It was the most amazing experience and probably one of the most memorable things we've ever done on a vacation before. All right guys, have I built it up enough for you now? We hired a professional photographer. We've never done anything like that before. We don't even take professional photographs at home. Neither one of us really like to actually be photographed that much. So this was such a unique and different experience, and it so far exceeded our expectations, even Whitney's, that I had to tell you about it. And I'm thinking that y'all might want to do this on your next vacation, so I'm going to tell you exactly how we did it and how you can too. Create a beautiful home, simplify your routines, and live your most inspired life, then hit that subscribe button for weekly inspiration. The way we found our photographer in Rome was through a website called Shoot My Travel. So they have photographers around the world, so wherever you're going, even if you live in the United States, in a lot of the major cities in the US, they also have photographers there that you can choose from. So I'm gonna share with you how the process works in case you wanna do it for yourself. You'll know exactly what to expect. And then I'm also gonna tell you exactly why we loved it so much and would definitely consider doing it again. So when you decide to use Shoot My Travel, the first thing you're gonna do is go onto their website and choose your destination. Now, it didn't really matter where you're going because they have over 450 locations worldwide. So chances are you're gonna be able to find your destination. Once you've selected your destination, you get to choose your photographer. On the website, they're gonna have all the different photographers that are available for that city, and they'll give you a description of the photographer, and then they'll also show you a small gallery of that photographer's work, so you have a lot to look at to decide which photographer you think is going to be the right match for you. And Whitney and I loved that part of the process because we were able to see the styles of photography that they had to decide which ones we thought would work best for us. Pick your first choice, but also pick a second or third choice, because when you actually get into the process, it's possible that the photographer that you want is not going to be available at the time and date that you have. Choose like your top 1, 2, 3, or 4 that you want, and then that way you'll kind of know how to go from there. Once you know your top choice for photographer, just click on the select package button underneath their name, and that will take you to the packages and you can choose. We ended up picking the 2-hour package for $330, and you get 25 photos with that. Once you get all of your photos back, you'll be able to choose which 25 photos you want. And then if you decide you end up wanting more than 25 because there were others that you really liked, which we did, then you can also add those on as an additional bundle. The last thing you're gonna do on the website is to book it. So you're just gonna click that button and it'll take you through all the series where you give your name and email and then your payment information, all of that stuff. And once you've done that, they will have someone email you, and they're gonna email you to find out what date you're traveling, who the photographer is that you want, and double check all of that information with you. And that concierge person will also tell you the availability of the photographer that you're wanting and give you some possible other suggestions of photographers that are available at the date and times that you need. I know for us, we ended up going back and forth with our concierge a couple of times to settle on our final photographer that we were gonna end up with, based on the times that they were available and what we actually wanted for our photos, meaning locations and things like that. Once we had everything settled with the concierge about which photographer we were gonna ultimately go with, then he connected us at that point with the photographer. And then from that point on, all of our communication was done with the photographer about the dates, times, locations, and everything that we wanted. And it was a really smooth process through the whole thing. Even though it might sound like a lot, it went really smoothly and everything worked out great. We ended up with a fantastic photographer, and he worked with us so well to do exactly what we wanted. So that's what I'm gonna share with you now, is exactly what we did and how the whole experience went. We ended up choosing Stas as our photographer, so he contacted us and asked us what locations were our highest priority. Where did we want to go and get our pictures taken? So we knew we wanted the Trevi Fountain and the Spanish Steps, which we also knew were close together, so that would work really well. And then we were hoping to be able to also go to the Colosseum and maybe one or two other places. So the thing about it is, I think with the package, they tell you you get 2 hours and 2 locations. But the truth is, if you're in a city like Rome that's compact, a lot of times I think the photographers will work with you to go to as many locations as possible. And he told us when he emailed us that not only could we do all of those locations, but we'd be able to hit quite a few more in the time frame that we had as well. And guys, I don't remember exactly, but I think we hit about 10 locations. Some of them were the ones that we had specified, and some were places that he knew about that were just like city streets that were great locations for pictures, and some other locations that we had no idea about. So one of the coolest things about this, I am so excited if y'all can't tell, and I am not even gonna hide my excitement because it was that awesome. One of the things that was so cool about this is he, as a photographer, knows the best vantage points, the best locations to get these iconic photos that you're not gonna see. Every other tourist that goes to Rome is not gonna have pictures like we have from the vantage point. So if you want a picture in front of the Colosseum or the fountain or the steps, you're gonna be able to get such different quality images because these photographers know exactly where to go to get the best vantage point to get these icons in the background of your photo. We ended up starting out at the Trevi Fountain, and he knew exactly what time to tell us that we had to get there and start by 7:30. It didn't need to be earlier than that, but we wanted to get there by 7:30 to start at the Trevi Fountain, or it would get too crowded. So we were able to get there before the crowd. You'll see maybe some people in our pictures, but not a whole lot. If we had waited even an hour or so longer, then we would not have been able to take these types of photos at that place. So it was so worth it just to even get that bit of information from the photographer. So after that, we headed over to the Spanish Steps and we took some pictures there. On the way, there were a couple of spots that he knew of, little streets that were nice places to take some pictures, so we went there, took those, then headed over to the steps, took our pictures at the steps. Then there was another 1 or 2 locations where he wanted to take us to get a couple more good shots of like just the streets and the city background. And then we took a taxi and headed over to the Colosseum. We did not take your standard Colosseum pictures because he knew exactly where to go, where we were up higher and still had the Colosseum in the background. And we got some amazing pictures where there were only a few people taking pictures there, and guys, they were all photographers. Tourists do not know to go to these locations to take pictures. That's one of the things that sets this apart and makes this experience so amazing. So as we were going, we kept asking Stas, oh my gosh, can you like send us these locations so we know how to get back to them if we wanted to go back and take pictures? Turns out we never had time to do that, but he did send us those locations. So if we ever get back to Rome, well, we have that. Then after the Colosseum, we ended up going to a couple other locations. There was one that he called like a little private patio that we went to. And then there were several other locations we went to that we were able to take some pictures that were all in that area. And again, the vantage points, I can't even stress that enough. These are not locations that tourists know about. And you're getting things in the background that you would never get just trying to take pictures on your own. Now let's not even talk about the quality of the pictures. Okay, I am not a professional photographer. I think that is very clear in the content that I make. You see, I'm working on my photography skills, but they are not even close to being there yet. So the quality of the shots are amazing, and we never would have gotten that if it was just on our own. The other thing that was cool was he was able to tell us how to stand. He got us in different types of shots. Some were, you know, more staged, some were more natural looking. He got a couple of them that were walking shots, which I thought was really cool. And it just really captured the essence of the city, which as tourists just there taking pictures, we never could have done that on our own. It was worth every penny that we spent on it. And don't tell Shoot My Travel, but it's worth more than that. Guys, I am telling you that don't get caught up in, oh my gosh, it's $330 or $450, it's so much money. Think about the memories that you are gonna be making and taking home. It's not even just the pictures that we took, but it was the experience of going to these cool locations that we would have never even known about otherwise if it hadn't been for Stas. So if you're going to Rome, I highly recommend Stas. I'm sure those other photographers are great, but Stas was awesome. We had the best time, but let me tell you, it was 2 jam-packed hours with him. And the other thing about it, if you're going with a bigger group, then I don't know that you would expect to go to so many locations. In a different city, you might not expect to go to so many locations, especially if that city is more spread out and doesn't have as many things so close together. And then it would also depend on what the iconic things were that you wanted to take pictures with. So like the Colosseum in the background, if there had not been other things so close to the Colosseum, then again, we wouldn't have gotten as many locations in there. So I don't want you banking on the fact that you're gonna get 10 locations. Another thing that's gonna make a big difference is how many people you have in your group. For us, it was just the 2 of us, and we took most of our photos together. We only took a couple of photos that were individual shots of us. The majority of our shots were together, so we were able to just quickly move from location to location. It was 2 jam-packed hours. We walked a lot during that time. Our feet were hurting when we were done, but it was so worth it, and we would definitely do it again sometime on another vacation. And it's like I said, guys, this was such an amazing thing that I just felt like I had to share it with you. This is not sponsored. There's one other thing I want to tell you in case you're wanting to do this, and I just want to let you know that Shoot My Travel is not the only company out there that does this. There is another company called Flytographer that I know of that does it. Those are the only 2 major ones that I know of. The reason we selected Shoot My Travel over Flytographer was basically the cost was the same and the amount of pictures was pretty much the same. You got a few more pictures with Flytographer, but the main difference was for the same basic cost, you only got 1 hour with the Flytographer package versus 2 hours with the Shoot My Travel package. So that's why we ended up deciding to go with Shoot My Travel. If you're wanting to do this, our experience with Shoot My Travel was really incredible, and I would definitely use them again, and I would stick with them for the reason I just gave you. But like I said, I haven't tried Flytographer, so I can't speak firsthand about that one, but I did want to let you know that that one is also out there and available if you're interested, and maybe if the place where you want to go, maybe Shoot My Travel is not there, but perhaps Flytographer would be in that location. So I hope this gives you an idea of something that you can do while you're on vacation and a unique experience that you may not have had before. And guys, if you do it, I really don't think you're gonna regret it. Always, if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button and join our community, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.